Hey there everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Thought I would just take a minute at the beginning of this part. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. I've had some interest, which kind of surprised me, but just from the first video that I've posted, and I've already done several other parts that will be uploaded before this one, but I really wanted to kind of give you an update. You're looking at the guitar here. It's again, it's the 1937 Epiphone Triumph, and in the last part I did the frets and the fretboard, and in this part I'm gonna fit the bridge. I ordered a replacement frequencator style tailpiece. I'm gonna fit that, and I want to get the guitar playable. So that's what I'm going to work on today, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. And I've set up a couple things that I've done without you and what I'm set up to do, but also some information that I learned. I had a couple of people, as I mentioned, reach out to me about this instrument, which was kind of interesting to me that there would be, you know, that much interest in this old guitar. I'm kind of glad there is, because I found out some stuff. And originally, let me just move this out of the way, I showed you the natural finish, and I think I've been referring to it leaving in its original condition. Apparently this is not the original condition of the guitar. According to people who I believe them, that they know more than I do, say that Epiphone did not start shipping a blonde or natural version of this guitar until like 1939 or 40. I'm just going to flip it up so you can see it here. And as you can see, this is a total natural finish on this guitar. From what I've told, the original finish on this would have been a sunburst style finish. So apparently somewhere along the line of the life of this guitar, somebody did away with the sunburst and did some refinishing. I personally, I love the way it looks with the natural finish. So even though it's not the original finish of the guitar, apparently from what I found out, I'm leaving it the way it is because I really like it. And it still doesn't change the fact that it's an 82-year-old guitar, and that it's gonna hopefully sound great when it's all done, and that it's gonna look great, because I already like the way it looks. So I'm gonna leave it there. So let me kind of just update you a couple of things that I've done here. There were some holes. I might have showed you that where the old tailpiece and end pin. I don't know if I can get a good angle of this or not, but I can try here. I've taken some time and filled all of this. This hole where the end pin was really ovaled out. And then there was just some other holes. I went ahead and filled all of these. This one here is not perfect, but I'm not going to reuse the old style end pin. I'm going to put a modern guitar strap button on here, so I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to get that filled. Still haven't addressed these, or there's some holes here. Still haven't addressed those. What I've temporarily done is I cleaned up the nut, and it's not glued in, but I did take some time and just kind of clean it up a little bit, and I got it back in place. And then I had the original tuners. There were 5 of them, and so I've tightened them up and then put a little bit of oil on them because they were really tough to turn. Then I raided the hoard, and I found this guy that, of course, it doesn't match, but the hole pattern is the same, and I can use it to set up the guitar. And so that's what I'm going to do in this particular section of the video, and I'm going to throw you on the tripod so you can watch me work. I just wanted to kind of give you a little more information. I keep learning stuff along the way about this guitar, and which is exciting to me, and I hope it is to you as well. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom of the bridge, and I'm going to make sure that it fits the guitar. I think before I do that, I'll just set it on here and we'll take some paper and test it and see how good of a fit that it really is. And if we need to, we can put sandpaper on here and just kind of go back and forth like so and get this custom fit to this top. But I think what I want to do first is get you in the tripod and get you kind of set up so you can see what it is that I'm going to do. I'm going to put tuners in, get the bridge down to where it needs to be. The action might, and I'm just guessing here, but I'm guessing the action is going to be super high just because of the neck angle. But I'm going to show you all that. So let me get you in a tripod and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've got you back on the tripod. Again, I'm just kind of approximating where I think the bridge is supposed to go, and I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on it, and then I'm going to take this piece of paper and see if it'll slide up under here. Honestly, it's not bad, really. It's actually, well, it's a little bit under. Yeah, let me flip it around the other way because I'm not exactly sure how it goes here. Maybe we'll try it this way and see if it's any better. Fits this side pretty good, actually. Well, no, it really doesn't, actually. Kind of went under there. Yeah, we're kind of going under. So let me I'll just take a minute. Again, I'm kind of approximating where the center of the F-holes are here. Kind of that little V shape in the F-hole for the location of the bridge. And what I'm doing, you can see, hopefully, there's the serial number of the guitar, 11239. So this is the matching bridge. So I'm not going to sand. I don't want to sand that too much because I don't want that number to go away. But I'm going to point that kind of so it's like so, and that's just a guesstimation on my part. And then what I'm going to do is just lay this on top of the guitar here, and I've got some 220 sandpaper, and you can see it's hitting just on the corner, but not, I don't know, can you see it? Let me maybe zoom you in. There you go. And I'm just going to sand a little bit until I see a little bit of material being taken off all the way across there. So here we go. All right, I think that's all I'm going to do, actually. That actually makes it fit a lot better. I kind of time-lapsed that a little bit. I think we've got the bridge where I want it. What I'm going to do for this next part, or what I've done for this next part, is I want to set this up so that I have some room in case down the road. Let me just show you here. Up here so you can see. Okay, these posts, they screw in so they go up and down, so you can adjust the height of the strings, actually, or the height of your saddle, actually. And right now it's in the all the way down position. And let me just put the saddle on there if I can find it. There it is. And again, it would go approximately there. And take my straight edge, maybe zoom you back out so you can sort of kind of maybe see what I'm doing here. And I usually just shoot for the about middle of the fretboard, come down with straight edge, and this gives some approximation of the neck angle. So I'm coming down the fretboard here, and I'm hitting, I don't know if you can see that, maybe I need to move you around here, but I'm hitting just above this. Let me just bring it around and show you how much it's hitting. See this angle right here? It's hitting just above, so about where my fingernail is where currently hitting. And again, we're in the all the way down position. So ideally what I would like to do is take these, back them off, let's say 1 2 1 2, so I have a little bit, and I'll just eyeball them, making sure we're about even there. So I have a little bit of room down the road. If this thing were to drop any more, I could lower it down without having to make any other modifications. I could just run the screws in a little bit. But what that's going to do for me is that's going to make this hit even further down on the saddle. Now, fortunately for us, I have a tall saddle here, so we can take material off the bottom and get down to where we need to be, I think. In fact, so much needs to come off, I think I'm probably just going to cut it with a saw and then do some finalizing. Now, I was going to use, I think I mentioned in one of the other videos, I was going to use this slab of tusk and do a tusk saddle. I've changed my mind on that. I'm going to leave the rosewood on here. And so what I'm going to do now is pause you, at least on that part, because I need to be able to get in here and try to get a measurement of how much needs to come off of here to drop this down where it needs to be. I think what I might do is get the tuners back in and put a couple of strings on and just see where we are as far as the height under here. See where I'm pointing? We'll see where the string, I'll measure the string height, and then that'll give me a measurement of how much I need to take off. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put the tuners, well, I can't put strings on until I get the tailpiece. Man, it ends up being kind of a process, doesn't it? Okay. Switch gears maybe a little bit here. And let's... Give me a second. I need to reposition you. All right. I am back with you. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried to do this video thing or anything like that, but it just seems like anytime I put the camera on, or a lot of times, I guess, not every time, but a lot of times I put the camera on and try to do some stuff and everything just kind of goes south. And today has been one of those days today. And I've kind of, as you can tell, gone to the other end of the guitar. I was going to get the tailpiece mounted, and my drill is dead, so I'm going to bring you to the other end. I know this looks kind of funky here because I've got 3 different bushings, ferrules, whatever you want to call those, and then in the hoard of stuff I found this tuner to go along with the other. I had 5 of the originals. So what I'm going to do is just put these tuners back on here, and all of these go back in the original spot, in the original holes, all of that kind of stuff. And so I'm just going to lay them up in here for now, find some screws, get everything reattached. And I'm going to put this guy, I think, in the middle. Find some screws here. And when I get the new tuners, I will probably use the screws and everything that come with the new tuners and all of that. But for now, again, just so we can get some strings on the guitar, maybe even let you hear how it sounds if I can get it playable. That would be nice. Alright, so there's one. You guys have all seen screwdriver turn some screws, so I'm going to pause this part and I'll bring you back in when I'm ready to move on and try something else. Okay, got that little bit of kit done. You can see there, got the tuners in. They're kind of a, kind of a hot mess, but the new ones haven't shown up yet. But I think what I'm going to do, I'll just maybe leave you positioned here. Workbench is a mess. I apologize for that. But I've been working, and that's what happens when you work. You kind of make a mess, and then you have to clean it up and all of that and make another mess. So that's what I'm doing. I'm hoping that my drill has charged enough that I can drill a couple of holes, get this tailpiece mounted. I'm going to try to keep you in the film so you can see this, but I'm using hand drill, and I will just do my best to go in straight. I pre-marked the holes, so I should be good as far as that goes. Again, just kind of making sure I'm going in as straight as I can. And hopefully my hand's not blocking you here, but got to support the guitar. Alright, making some progress there. Okay. Alright. So what I'm going to do, again, let's make sure I got you in the film. Here I do. Here's our tailpiece, and you really want to make sure that you have a screwdriver that matches. So I've got all kinds of screwdrivers here, Phillips screwdrivers. You want to make sure you have a screwdriver that matches your screw hole or your tops of your screws. Otherwise, you're going to strip the screws out, and you're not going to be very happy with yourself about that. The other thing you can do is, if you have a hard time getting these to go in once you drill your pilot holes, you can actually put a little bit of wax on the screw. That will help it go in there. But I think we're going to be okay here, so I'm just going to line this up, put the screws in, and that started there. This one started here. Run these in, and then I've got a third one that goes down the bottom, and then the other hole is for my strap button. So let me bring you back. Once I have this done, I'll show you the actual back of the guitar. All right, back with you, handheld here, and I'm going to give you a nice shot. There's everything all nice and neat, and you can see I lined it up with the center. Let me give you a little better view maybe. You can see I centered it there. Again, that center hole there is going to be for the strap button that's going on, and I just ordered traditional modern strap buttons. Those will go on the guitar because my plan is to play the thing, not hang it on the wall. So, all right, let me put you back in the tripod, and I'm going to get strings on here, and we're just going to see how we are with our string height and what we need to do about all of that. Welcome back. Got all of the strings on the guitar, and they're still stretching, so I mean roughly tuned, and the action, as I suspected, is quite high at the 12th fret. It needs to come down. I've done some initial measuring. The string, the first fret action needs to come down, but I think I need to get the saddle dealt with first. But if I put a capo on and I grab, this is a 13 thousandths, it's actually a little snug. 10 is not, it's not even touching the string. So, but I think once this all comes down, that may get us in the ballpark. Again, you can't adjust the relief, it's just measuring it to know where it is. So I've done some measuring, and at the 12th fret where I have the height of the bridge set right now, we're at 100. I've got saddle here that's got 90 on one side, 100 on the other. I added a 10, so 110. That's where we are. I want to go down to 80 and 70 for my final, so that's a difference of 30 thousandths here, which means we need to double that, take 60 thousandths off the bottom of this saddle. So this guitar is making sound, and I'm getting excited about it. I think I'm just going to pick it up and strum it. I have not done that yet, so this will be again, it's not tuned because the strings are still stretching. It's not totally in tune, but man, it's making a sound. So getting closer and closer, closer and closer. I think what I'm going to do, just kind of giving you updates through here because this video has been fighting me all along the way, is I'm going to loosen up the strings, take the saddle out from underneath there, and then take about 60 thousandths or so off the bottom of that. Where is it? There it is. Off the bottom of the saddle. Put it back in, remeasure everything, and see how we came out, and I will bring you back in for that. Alright, been away from you for a few minutes, and I took about 60 thousandths or so off of the bottom of the saddle there. And let me see if I can, maybe about as far as I can zoom in there with you on the tripod, but you can see it's still plenty. And remember, I lifted those just a little bit, so if this changes over time, I can lower the saddle without having to take more material off. So let me zoom back out, reposition here a little bit. We'll take some measurements and see how we ended up. I think we ended up pretty good. It's tuned, roughly tuned. So let me double check everything here. Let's see, here's my 18 thousandths feeler gauge. And that could use to come down just a touch on the first fret. It's not bad, it's just a touch. I may just take a little bit off of the bottom of that saddle, or bottom of that nut, before I glue it in. Let's see, wanted to end up around I'm just under, and this is an 80 thousandths here, and it's lifting the string, so I'm gonna guess I pretty well nailed my 70 there. And it's lifting on the other side too, so that's good for me. It's lifting the 80, so I know I'm below 80 on both sides, so I'm happy with that. I don't know if you can see the blue tape here as well. I didn't want to have to play around with repositioning, you know, for intonation and stuff. And I will have to do that again, but for purposes of our video, I didn't want to have to spend all the time doing that. Let me just see if I can pick it up and strum it for you so you can hear how it sounds. An 82-year-old guitar being brought back to life. Sounds pretty good so far to me. I'll try a couple of different picks, which I typically do. I'll try to match up a pick with the guitar. Sometimes the plastic, you know, a thinner plastic sounds good. Sometimes a thicker plastic, sometimes a tusk. Just kind of depends on the guitar and the strings and all that. I am going to put my standard Elixir strings on here. These are just so I can play with it, set it up and all that. But I am super pleased. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my painter's tape just so we don't take a chance on it being on here too long and making a mark on the finish. But I'll just leave it like this. I've got to get my binding on order and stuff like that, but I wanted to make sure the guitar was going to be playable before I went any further with it. So thanks for following along on this part of the video. I've got tuners on order. Those will be in the next couple of days, and I'm going to get some binding ordered. I am going to go with wood binding. I think I explained that to you in one of the other videos, but on the front, since we have the two binding channels, I'm going to be going with a dark brown on the inner binding, and then a curly maple for the outer binding on the front and the back. So that's kind of the plan for this, and I'm excited where we are. One of the other parts of this project is the case, and I'm gonna bring that needs some work as well, the case for the guitar. So I've picked up some stuff for that and been reaching out to some folks for some suggestions on how to handle some of that stuff. And I'm going to put all new fabric on the inside, fabric and padding on the inside of the case, and all that kind of stuff. But man, I'm super excited where we are with this guitar, it being playable. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the interest. Those of you who've reached out to me about this this really old Epiphone guitar. Again, it's 82 years old or so, and I've had several people reach out to me about it. So thank you for that and all the information that you've sent my way. to educate me a little bit about this guitar. So I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And I'll see you next time on the channel.